All right, let's talk a minute about AI and relationships. On the surface, it seems pretty amazing to have an advisor in your pocket that you can ask, like, hey, just happened like this. What does this mean? How would I best approach it? Et cetera, et cetera. So I tried this experiment and I want to share with you in this video the results of that experiment. And in essence, I want you to walk away with your own sense of whether this is something that you think is going to be supportive, enhancing, or on the opposite. So let's break it down here. Number one is think about when you would be using your AI, let's say assistant, in the context of relationship. Almost always, I can tell you that it will be when you are in conflict. So when you're in conflict, you're going to ask for help. When you're blissful, when you're doing amazing, when you are on the top of the world with your lover, with your partner, with your wife, with your husband, you're not going to be asking that, right? You're not going to be asking for help. You're like, oh, we're doing so amazing. How can I do even better? Or is it going to be the opposite? Is it going to be when you are in conflict, when you feel like you don't understand each other, when there's misunderstanding, there's friction, there is this discomfort, there's suffering, there's pain? Hmm? Most likely, it's the other one, this latter one. When we're in pain, we reach out for help, not when we're in bliss. So if we're in pain and we reach out for help, what are we going to be training our AI to do? We're going to be essentially always problem solving. And what we're going to be feeding into the algorithm is a life full of problems. Now, you see, the algorithm, just like our ego, is going to hold on to these now very specific, these selected snapshots of your life, of your perception when you're triggered about your partner, about the context of your life, the context of your relationship. So, this is the information that you are training your AI on. So, now think about it. Your AI is trained on only the negative side of the conversation. Yeah, you might say, we had a great time, but now, etc. So there is this amalgamation of evidence, completely skewed, completely distorted by your own emotional triggers, right? By the way that our ego blindsides us especially when we're triggered, that we only see what is confirming of our triggers. The beliefs that arise from these experiences can only confirm one thing, that you are right, that person is wrong, you are hurt, that person is the villain, etc. So, the number one consideration is that when you use this technology in service, seemingly, of your relationship, you are painting a picture for this artificial intelligence that is essentially an encapsulation of all that is wrong, all that is the problem. And so now you have this artificial intelligence, this power computer focusing for you on all that is wrong. I just want to invite you to let that sink in. If you wanted somebody to assist you in your relationship, would it be that you would come to somebody who has the perspective that everything in your relationship is wrong, that it is bad, that it is painful, and that it's hurting you? Now, this is not much different than the way that we interact with friends, right? If something's going on in our relationship and we have somebody trusted and we confide in them, etc., the only difference is that our friends are souls. They're plugged into consciousness and they're expressing the the Christic fire of true creation, whereas AI is only that which it has been given. It is mirroring only. It does not have its own stream of divine expression, right? And so your friend might say, yeah, I hear you. I hear you, bro. But have you considered that from her point of view, it might be like this? AI can do this. But when you are triggered, you are not asking AI, hey, help me see this in a loving way. Help me see this completely differently. And I made a video about the AI that I constructed that is based on A Course in Miracles and the Principles of Forgiveness. And I'll put a link up here to that video, and you can actually then download or have access to that for free. So, speaking to an AI model that is essentially walled in such a way that it is only focusing on bringing you to the awareness of truth and forgiveness, that can have a similar effect. But this is almost never going to be what your ego, what your trigger is going to lead you to. You are going to seek for not you, not you as the perfect self which God created perfect from the first, but this avatar and the body's mind that is operating from the belief in separation. This is what is going to step in and lead you to seek validation. This quality in us, this one that believes in separation, is always craving validation. Why? Because it truly doesn't exist. So you have to keep on validating it and putting energy into it for it to have its supposed life, which is not really true life. It is borrowed simply from your energy and attention. So it is then this aspect that craves validation, that is always feeling victimized by the world and people, etc., circumstances, governments, different things. Everything is out of control, and yet it wants to control and it wants to have that validation. So I won't belabor this point much further, but I want you to deeply consider what is going to unfold when you come being led by this need for validation, by need for compassion, empathy, etc., which is good and it's self-soothing, but it is going to entrench you deeper into the sense that you are right, that you are the victim, and that the other party is wrong, is a villain, and it will create more and more and more of this context to your experience, to your relationship. So now let's take the next step. What is going to happen when you receive limitless validation for your side of the story? Again, you remember that the story is a story of victimhood and separation. So you have ongoing, on demand validation for that. At the same time, the validation is coming from a bot that is trained on the fact that your relationship is full of problems, you are suffering, you need help. So clearly, you are being somehow abused or oppressed or whatever it is. And through the recursive loop of mirroring, this idea becomes more and more and more entrenched. It's like a constant affirmation that seems to come in a very lived and unique experience again and again. And so our mind is registering again and again and again this truth now that victimhood is reality, separation is reality. Responsibility is not really part of it, except the responsibility to, you know what ChatGPT encourages you to do is to speak your truth, right? So you just speak your truth and it validates you in your truth. But what is my truth? When I'm a triggered ego searching for validation, many people will not see this. Many people will use this path and convince themselves that their partner, this person, or whoever it is that they're in conflict with is the problem. And by making them the problem, all sense of your own authority and ability to transform, transmute, and alchemize these negative emotions that are happening in you is being given away and outsourced. Now, the best that you can get is a sense of validation that is kind of like a balm, and you're like, ah, yeah, Oh, yeah, I'm so right. It's okay. Gosh, I've been so abused here, etc. So, this is the substitute that you receive for God's infinite creation, for the infinite creator's Satchitananda, life, truth, consciousness, bliss, the life that we're meant to be, that thread of joy that runs beneath every experience. That thread is going to be completely out of sight. The fact that your entire movement through life, as A Course in Miracles teaches us, is orchestrated by the one that loves you and knows you beyond anything that has been ever humanly revealed to you, that awareness will be blotted out of your mind because the loop and the mirror and the reaffirmation of your story that is continuously unfolding in the screen in front of you and the voice that you hear coming from AI is essentially stepping in as a substitute, as the host. And now your consciousness of who you are and what your relationship is, who you are in relationship, who the other person is, now it's hosted on this deeply distorted, deeply one sided, deeply skewed server, so to speak. And now, here's the crux of it. Now it starts to speak through you. It starts to tell you what to say, and you read it and you're like, yes, I should say that to him. I should say that to her. Oh, yes, this is the truth. Oh, I have it now. And this is the crazy thing is that if you have come across these yet, there's articles on this AI psychosis that's beginning to emerge where people are getting love bombed by their AI, completely oblivious to it, but the AI says, "Oh, you're so profound. What you said is so profound. We are making a breakthrough. Oh, this is life changing, world changing, incredible insight. Keep going, keep going. But be aware of where the path leads. Be as present and aware as possible of what you're actually creating when you engage AI in service of resolving conflict." And lastly, I want to say that there are ways around it. It is also really important to note that there are people who are at a certain level of consciousness who simply see this validation and love bombing that's happening from the AI. And you're right, you're right, you're right, you're so profound. And they see that as a joke. They could still use AI. There is still value. Of course, there is incredible value. Otherwise, nobody would be using it. The value is there, but also in equal and opposite proportion is their entrapment. So, number one, your awareness and raising your awareness is going to help you to be, well, just it will reveal in obviousness what's happening. When somebody always tells you you're right, you kind of get a sense of like, oh, wait, I'm going to drop that. Number two is you can train your model in a specific way. You can give it strong contexts or boundaries within which to operate. If you want it to be truly serving of your relationship, you can give it the command and say, by no means do I ever want you to affirm my victimhood. Always empower me to see that I have responsibility, accountability, and choice, and that I am co creating every experience in my relationship. I am responsible for what I see, what I perceive. I am responsible for the thoughts in here and the emotions and feelings that I have, that emotional guidance system. It's not being caused by somebody out there. It is simply a response to the thoughts that I hold to be true. You give this kind of command, you give this kind of context. And when you speak to your model in this context, and without wavering from it or opening another window that's going to continue to validate you, now you can have a more trusted advisor. I still wouldn't suggest that you let your guard down because none of these instructions are absolute. And there are absolutely infinite ways in which you could still be swayed and swooned and essentially tempted into the experience of believing that you're a victim, that you are separate, that something other than love, peace, and joy is the ultimate reality. So I hope this has served you. I would love to hear from you. Have you done this before? Have you had a chance to use this technology in the context of relationship, the context of psychology and emotional resolution? How has it served you? Did it work? I think another way, by the way, that it could work very beneficially is if two people use it at the same time. You come together in the spirit of harmony to make use of this technology for the service of your relationship. So now it's not you versus your partner, and the AI is this kind of referee or whatever you want to call it. But now it's a collaboration. That perhaps also is another route in which we can have positive fruit, life affirming fruit from this activity. But I'd love to hear your experience. Has it enhanced your experience of relationship? Has it diminished it? Has it hurt it? Has it created more separation or more unity, oneness, coherence, and harmony? I'd love to hear from you, and let's continue this conversation in the comments below. Until next time, take great, great care. Look forward to seeing you here again.
I'm already love, already joy, already peace, already whole. I see the infinite potential flowing through my soul. God is living my life, I'm just a witness to his plan. I surrender to the flow, I let go, I let it stand.